So let's go ahead and hit add tools. Let's go ahead and hit measurements and dimensions. And then let's hit line angle. So let's go ahead and hit that first icon, the line along with profile. And we can hit add. And let's go ahead and do it on the height image. So we can double click the left image. And let's go ahead and just hit this register button on the right. And hit OK. So now what it's doing is it's saving this image as our registered image. So anytime we add in a new tool, it's going to automatically apply that tool to the registered image. So now we can hit OK here, bottom right.
And this would be like a master 0 image, right?
Yes, it's not necessarily like if we add tools here, it's not necessarily going to say, hey, all our measurements are 0, and then it's going to automatically throw in offsets. So like, for example, let's go ahead and we're specifying the line. So it's saying click 2 points on the line. So let's just pick our right hook for an example. The left side of the right hook, that vertical line, let's go ahead and click on the top side of it. There we go. Just make that red line on the left side of that hook. Yep. And then, yep. So that bottom point, maybe bring it up just a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe right there. That looks good. And go ahead and deselect optimize on the right. And then scroll into that inspection region, the left side of the hook. Okay. So next, click the height extraction icon on the right side, the middle one. And change your plane. You'll see the second drop down. Change it to average height. And then at the very bottom on the right side, you'll see Z offset. Do -10. And then do -10. Then hit OK. And hit OK. And towards the top middle, you'll see like a question mark and then 1, 2, 3, 4 towards the top middle. So that question mark will kind of give you an explanation of certain things inside this tool. 1, 2, 3, 4 will actually show you the data that's being extracted from this tool.
Gotcha.
So scroll out of the hook just a little bit, and you'll see this green line that it's generating. It's going to be generating a line of best fit based off of the edge of that hook. So let's hit that 1, 2, 3, 4 again. And then scroll out a little bit. So now you can see that green line, and towards the top, you'll see detect line, angle, center X, center Y. This is the data that we can extract from this tool. So let's say next time we scan a hook and it's got a 93-degree angle, then we can output that also, right? So this is going to detect the angle clockwise and counterclockwise of that hook. So we would probably, if we were trying to find like the intersection of those two lines, what we can do is hit OK here, the bottom right. And to like where you see detect line, where it just added it into the toolbar, below detect line, you'll see raw 2 with the drop down arrow. Hit that arrow, switch to grayscale. So let's go ahead and hit add tools again. And then go back to measurements and dimensions, and let's do that same one, align along with profile. You can double click on it, and then we'll choose the grayscale image, the right image. Go ahead and click that grayscale. You can double click, and then let's go ahead and define those 2 points on that edge we're trying to detect. and then deselect optimize. Zoom in on the inspection region. Let's change on the right side edge direction. You'll see both. Change it from light to dark. And then you'll see detection conditions above that light to dark. And then the two arrows pointing to the right, hit that icon. Yep. And then you'll see edge filter width. Go ahead and increase that a little bit with a slider. Hit OK.
Okay.
And then scroll out a little bit on the image. Okay. Hit OK again. And then right click on the tool that just added the detect line, the one that's highlighted right now, yellow. Right click on that icon. Cancel out. Right click on it, hit copy. Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and double click on the detect line, the one you just pasted, and modify those 2 points. This is just, I kind of wanted to show you the copy and paste function. You can do that, right? So let's go ahead and modify this inspection region to grab that other line inside of the hook. You can zoom in also a little bit to make it a little bit easier. So let's take a look inside this inspection region. One thing to note is you'll see an arrow in the middle of it, kind of going towards the center, right?
Yep.
So look at the scan direction. It's saying forwards. So we're going in the direction of the arrow, and our edge direction is light to dark. Well, if we were trying to detect that line light to dark, we want to go against the arrow. So let's go ahead and change that forward to reverse.
Got you.
Not it'll change the scan direction in reference to that arrow. Yeah.
Got you. Got you.
So now we've got that line. That looks good. So we'll go ahead and hit OK. Now let's go ahead and hit Add Tools again. And then we'll select Measurement and Dimensions. Let's go to the one right below Line Angle, Intersection, Center. Yeah, it should be similar. So then we'll hit double click Grayscale. And what's nice is we've defined these lines previously, so they should show up here. So now we can see detect line at the very top. You'll see 3 icons, right? One's highlighted yellow. It's saying the first step is detect line. So we'll detect one that's already there. Doesn't matter. We'll just click one. And the next one is to detect the other line. We'll hit that. And then it's going to give us the XY position of that intersection. So we can set in thresholds in terms of if we want to judge it NG or no or not. I was just going to say this is kind of what I was talking about with the reference image, right? These may be our 0 positions. So the PLC would have to store that and say, okay, 138.2 for X is our 0 position, 34.0 is our 0 position. Go ahead and scroll out of the hook. All the way. Yep. So, and this is our image canvas size, right? So 0, 0 is the very top left. So X going to the right, X positive direction is to the right, Y positive is going down. So that 138.2 includes all of the space of the left side as well. So you wouldn't necessarily see 2 138s. Yeah, the Y should be the same if they're, yeah, that should be the same. But the X, a quick way to figure out like how much, you know, it's going to be a constant, right? So how much X space that left side canvas takes is always going to be the same. If you recall, we changed the 0.025 to 0.03. You recall that? in the settings, we changed the 0.025 to 0.030 to the 30. What that was our pixel pitch. Go ahead and zoom in into the hook all the way as far as you can. At any point, just go ahead and zoom in all the way, all the way, all the way. So the pixel size from left to right, each pixel size is 0.03 millimeters. Each laser has 3,200 data points. So if you do 0.03 times 3,200, you get 96. So 138.2 minus 96 would be your X position of the right hook. If you wanted to kind of break up the two images, if that makes sense. Again, it doesn't matter at this point with the PLC, just as long as you kind of set it correctly. You can break it up into two images that way if you want, but just wanted to at least explain that portion. So at this point, if we wanted to make things straight too, this is only going to give us X, Y, right? So if we wanted to get Z, we would have to add in a separate like height measurement tool, and we could place that somewhere on the hook if we wanted to kind of get a specific height of it, right? We can kind of talk about that here in a little bit. I think I'm running out of time here, unfortunately. But before I hop off, I wanted to show you how we could send these values to the PLC. So let's go ahead and hit done. And then towards the top, you'll see a button that says, or an icon that says output right above the tool that we just added. And then we'll select Ethernet IP on the left side. And we'll hit, so we've got bits and bytes, right? Bit based off of pass fail, and then go to bytes, and we'll select data. And then we'll have all of our tools on the left side. We'll scroll down. We'll scroll down on the right side, and we'll select, hit add, or intersection XY, that's even better. XY would be better because it's just going to take less bytes. Hit OK here. And then you'll see, oh, I guess it's kind of the same thing. Intersection X will be an address 48, and then Y in 52. So then what we can do is we can hit let's go ahead and hit OK, and then hit OK. So one important thing to note is we're not going to be sending data unless we're in run mode. How to go to run mode, top right, next to total status OK. We'll go ahead and hit that button, go to run mode. And we'll hit save, yes. And let's go ahead and do a scan. Okay. So now to see if we actually sent the data, obviously you can check your PLC, but next to the go to setup mode, hit utility. The little icon there next to go to setup mode, top right. Sorry, go back to run mode, but hit the utility icon. And then you'll see an icon that says Ethernet IP memory monitor. Hit that. And then we'll be sending data, so hit the second view list. And we're sending it an address 48 and 52. So on the right side, you'll see the bytes, address 48 and 52. And those are the values you should be seeing in the PLC. You see that on the right side? Yeah, 48 and 52, address 48 and 52. On the left side, you'll see the third check mark, results OR flag. That's overall result. That goes high if the overall status is bad. It looks like you've got an upper limit on the X, right? Upper limit is 1 millimeter. So that 98 exceeded 1, so we failed this tool. I can show you where that lives real quick. If you go back to setup
Yeah,
mode,
sure.
double click on that pattern match. So a quick way to see if a tool failed or passed, you'll see the green bars and then a red bar. No, not this. We'll go into the first tool, the one that had the red bar, the pattern match. The
Okay,
tool
this
that
one.
failed.
Oh, okay. That's why there was a fail. So that's not one of the new ones we just did.
Right. This is an old one. Yep. And then you'll see the upper and lower limit on the right side.